Luke Humphries, here we are, Premier League debut. We know you've waited a long time for this moment. Is it all sinking in right now?
Long time coming, isn't it? I feel like I've been waiting for this moment for about 3 years. Yeah, it's a good feeling. You know when you're in the Premier League that you're sort of a part of the elite. But the way 2023 went for me was obviously no question I'd be in it. So yeah, it's really good to be here.
Does it feel how you thought it would feel in the moment and everything like that?
The only difference for me is I felt like I was always going to get in by like waiting until the lineup come up, and then you're thinking, am I in? Am I in? And oh yes, I'm in. But it was for me. I already know I was in like after the Grand Slam. I was told. So yeah, it was like a bittersweet moment. I sort of knew before the end of the year was out, but it still feels as good. You know, everyone knows that it was a dream to play in the Premier League. So you know, now I'm finally in it. I'll look forward to it.
And playing as the world number one and world champion, does that make it even more special?
Yeah, definitely. It's a rarity, isn't it? You know, going into Premier League as the world champion. Usually you're playing a few Premier Leagues before, then you become world champion. So it feels quite strange to be world champion and never played a Premier League, but you know that's going to change now. So really looking forward to it.
Again, here in Cardiff, Kezi's backyard, it's going to be a big day tomorrow.
Yeah, I think every night's going to be a big day in my eyes. I think it's a marathon, not a sprint, though. So it's important that if a couple of bad nights go your way, that you don't let it affect you, and you know you move on to the next one. It's important that you know you stay focused and don't, like I say, let a few nights affect you. Even if I don't start off great, I'm new to this. This is all a new environment to me, regardless of being the world champion or the world number one. I'm just going to take it as it comes. This is my first one in the Premier League. So if it don't go to plan, it don't go to plan. But I feel like if I can play like I have been, then it can go to plan.
You haven't really got a home venue, so to speak. Are you treating that night in Leeds as your one?
Yeah, that is my home. Yeah, I'll probably get a reception like it's my hometown sort of feeling, but they don't really have many Premier League venues down south, do they? To be honest, so you know, I would never have had that opportunity myself. I think I was home venue was Exeter on it once, so yeah, that's not really one that close to me. So the Leeds one will definitely be the one that feels like home.
And again, you and Luke Horns, again, obviously he beat you in Den Bosch. Is that going to have any bearing on tomorrow?
Not really, because we're going to play each other so much that it's not going to be repeat or revenge. It's literally we're playing each other all the time. Like I said, I got the one that mattered the most, of course. If he beats me 10 times on the trot, I still don't see that as revenge, because a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, he gets revenge," but we both get on so well. I really like him as friends, so I just look forward to playing him over the next 20 years, hopefully. But another one tomorrow, and I'm hoping it's going to be a good game and a really good, enjoyable one for the fans as well.
Luke, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Luke, it's winning the World Championship is life changing. How has life changed for you in the past month or so?
Yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah, it is life changing. For me, it's the attention you get when you go out. I just can't go anywhere without someone recognising you or someone taking a photo or anything like that, which is obviously not a bad thing. It's lovely and it's great. But obviously, I think Luke's a massive help towards that popularity, because so many people watch the final and obviously that they see me win it. So yeah, the thing that's quite incredible is that I just literally can't go anywhere without being noticed, which is, I can't imagine how bad it is for Luke as well.
There's been many iconic rivalries over the years in the sport. Do you think yourself versus Luke could be the new Premier Rivalry in darts?
Yeah, it could. I think there's a lot of good games in darts. So I think I'd love to watch like Michael Van Gerwen and Gerwen Price. That's a game I love to watch. I think me and Luke is probably one of them as well now. You know, there's a lot of good matchups everyone likes to see, but I think because of where we've both come from and where we are now, it's sort of a refreshing rivalry between us. It's a healthy one. There will never be any negative rivalry between me and Luke, regardless of what any media that tries to do or tries to say I've said or not. I'd never say a bad word about any dart player. So it's a healthy rivalry, and I think it's for the fans to enjoy it.
How do you think Luke will cope with this Premier League schedule and a debutant like yourself?
I honestly can't see him not coping with it. If you weren't going to cope well, wouldn't have played as well as he did in the Worlds. That's the toughest tournament to play well in, and he did. So I feel like he will cope well. I just think that it can become very busy. Obviously, he's not used to being away from home all the time, and now he will find out how hard that is. But he's got a great support net. He's got a great manager, great family, all around him. So I think he'll be fine.
Cheers.
Luke, Michael Smith admitted to us earlier today that that period of time after he was world champion and the greatest leg was a big thing for him, and it sort of, he probably didn't handle it as well as he wanted to. He wouldn't do the same things again. Curiously, all the attention hasn't been on you. Is that an advantage? Does it still come into this thinking, well, you can just get on with your game without all the media attention?
Yeah, definitely. I think it is a slight advantage to me. But I have said many times, I don't play the game to have media popularity or for everyone to like me. I played the game because I wanted to be world champion. That was my dream, and I achieved that. Whether that come with media attention or not, I'd rather have that world title on my name than everyone following me, or should I say? So, I understand the attention's been on Luke, but he's brought a lot of noise to this sport, so you can't argue against it. I think he deserves it. I just hope that it doesn't affect him too much, and that he doesn't have too much on his shoulders. Everyone trying to get a piece of him, because he's still young. I think he still just wants to enjoy life and enjoy being a dart player. But he's the most famous dart player in the world, so it comes with a lot of added pressures, I guess.
By the end of this week, you would have been world champion for a month. What's been the most surreal moment? What was the moment when you thought, this is mad?
I think you know what I'm going to say. It's walking around Ellen Road with that trophy. That was the most surreal, most amazing moment I've ever felt, except obviously for winning it. As soon as I walked down to that pitch, everyone clapping and giving me the lead salute. It was just the most magical moment. One that I'll remember forever. It really was. I was never going to be walking out on that pitch as a football player, but to walk out as a world champion and of my sport, yeah, that was the next best thing.
Thank you.
Luke, when you were almost from the Premier League last year, there was a lot of people talking about that, whether it was a right or wrong decision. Does that add more pressure than 12 months on now that you are in the Premier League to perform? Because we've seen people in their debut year falter in this tournament.
Yeah, maybe people might think you've wanted it for so long. Now, if it don't go as well, you'll say, they could get on my back a little bit. But I've always wanted to play in it because of the statue and everything that comes with it. It's just an exciting tournament. I just feel like playing the best players in the world for 16 weeks straight is only going to benefit myself even more. I believe I can get better. I really, really do. And if I'm playing the best in the world consistently more than I have done in previous years, it's going to benefit me even more. I'm looking to stay motivated and get even better than I am, because I feel like there's a small crop of players now, young kids that are getting better at such a younger age, and they're going to come up and they're going to be wanting to take the spot. So it's important that I work harder and try and get even better.
Michael van Gerwen ranked this tournament as the top tournament behind the World Championship. Where do you see this tournament in the hierarchy of the events?
I would see probably it's the third. Maybe I'd see the match players as the second. That's a very prestigious tournament. I think if you win that, I think that's probably just below the Worlds. I think Premier League's probably one of the hardest to win, because you've got to be consistent for a long period of time. And it is a massive prestige. Being Premier League champion is obviously something you definitely want on your CV. But I think the Worlds is definitely the one for me that I'm happy I picked up. So next goal then now is to go and be Premier League champion.
And you talked about the schedule that Luke will have, but this is your debut. How will you manage the schedule of the Premier League? Will you pick and choose certain events? Obviously you've got a young kid at home as well
I will pick and choose events. Obviously there's certain periods in the calendar where it is incredibly busy, like you could be away 3 weeks in a month consistently nearly. So yes, I will, if I'm going to miss things, probably miss Pro Tours and try and do as many Euro Tours as I can, because everyone knows I love playing on the big stage, so I'll play in. But I will play in as many Players' Championships as I physically can. But it's important that I don't sort of abuse the fact of not playing in it, because it's still important to keep yourself match sharp and playing as much as possible.
Cheers, Luke, thank you.
Thank you.
Your first time obviously in the Premier League, have you had a chance to enjoy Cardiff yet, and how much are you looking forward to the opening night?
Yeah, I've been to Cardiff a few times, so I know what it's all about. It's a great city, but you don't really get much time to explore, because I was here yesterday night and then straight away did media today, and then go for a meal out with my sponsors, Red Dragon, and then all of a sudden it's the day when you're playing, so you don't really get much chance to go out and explore any cities, unfortunately. But it's great to be here. Perfect way to start the Premier League in Cardiff, and I think most of the players actually said that Cardiff's one of the best crowds in the whole tournament, so I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
Obviously in the Worlds you had that game with Cardiff Track School where you had quite a lot of boos in the crowd. Obviously Garen Price gets that on the regular sometimes. Do you feel there might be a bit of retaliation from the Cardiff crowd after your comments? Because Garen gets it quite a lot.
Well, I sort of said he don't deserve it, really, so I don't see there being a retaliation on my side because, you know, what happened in the Worlds was a tough experience. I said Gezi don't deserve it really, so I can't see. You know, if I play him in the final and they're booing me, it is what it. You know, that's fine. You know, it's just that in the Worlds, you had like 5 people whistling continuously, and kind of a bit annoying to be honest. But like I said, I don't think Gezi should get the boos either. I think he deserves a bit more respect sometimes. But the fans pay their money, and you know they're entitled to do what they want, I guess.
4 majors on the bounce. Can you win the Premier League this year?
Definitely, I feel like this plays into my hands a little bit because I like going back to like European tours. I'm good with the games on the trot. So for me, it could be a great tournament, or it might not work out for me the first year. Who knows? I think time will tell. But I know I can definitely win it, that's for sure. Thank you.
Luke, when 2 Englishmen called Luke meet in Cardiff on a Premier League night, who does the crowd support?
Whoever they want, I guess. Probably most will be for Luke Littler because obviously he's the main attraction. But yeah, I think that the crowds we played in the Worlds, they were really respectful. Like they were supporting him. But every time I've played him, the crowd's been great. They've supported him, and some supported me, and you know that's just the way we'd love it every time. And the fans are really good. The dart fans are always the best.
You said earlier on and the other day in Holland as well that with a bit of luck you and Luke might be playing each other for the next 20 years with sort of big money at stake. Can there be such a thing as big match fatigue in terms of big guns playing each other too often? I'm thinking that like Rangers and Celtic seem to play each other about 6 times in Scotland, and you're never quite sure which is the biggest of the lot. Is it necessarily a good thing if the 2 Lukes meet every 2 or 3 weeks, in whether it be in a major or the Premier League or a European Tour event?
I see. The only thing I see about it is I remember the days when you used to see Phil Taylor and Barney or someone like that, like once every 3 months, and it used to be, you know, you wouldn't miss it. You know, it's a massive spectacle. Whereas now you probably see me and Luke Littler play each other 12 times in a year, so it's not really exciting as much. But we'll try and do our best to play as well as we can and create excitement for the fans and the viewers at home, you know, like I said, as best as we can.
Luke, you're obviously going into your first Premier League campaign. It's a weird predicament with you going into it as world number 1. Luke Littler said he's not seeked any advice from anyone going into it, being prepared with the 16-week schedule. Have you seeked any advice from any of the other players, or are you kind of just keeping yourself to yourself?
Yeah, I've seeked advice years when I've not been in, just to see, you know, test the waters. What's it like? How busy is it? And you know, a few of them tell me, yeah, it's like this, it's like that. You want to get it at this time. So yeah, I seeked advice. Always that little bit of extra advice for yourself will help you out in certain circumstances. There's certain places that take longer to get to and stuff. So yeah, I mean it's hard because it's your first time, so you just sort of got to take the experience and play it by ear, to be honest. But I will try and work as hard as possible.